All right, so a quick question before we begin. Have you ever enjoyed a holiday meal and then immediately after wondered, did I just undo weeks or even months of progress? If you're using a GLP-1 medication and the holidays bring both joy and a quiet undercurrent of anxiety, this conversation is especially for you. And okay, let's be honest, it's for me also. Because for many people on GLP-1s, the season isn't just about food. It's about expectations and traditions and the subtle fear of kind of messing things up. So before we go any further, let me properly introduce myself. My name is George Logan, and this is GLP-1s for Seniors. It's a channel where we talk honestly about metabolic health, weight regulation, and how modern biology actually works, without shame or fear or diet culture noise. So I'm not here to promote perfection. I'm here to promote understanding. Because when you understand what's happening in your body, you're going to stop blaming yourself for normal biology. Today we're going to talk about how to enjoy the holidays, stay grounded metabolically, and move through the season without guilt, without panic, or unnecessary restriction. This isn't about being good. It's about staying aligned with the patterns that support health, even in the middle of a celebration. And since this is the season, let me say this clearly and sincerely. Whether you celebrate Christmas or simply enjoy the warmth and reflection of the holidays, I'm wishing you peace, joy, and rest, and a little grace for yourself along the way. So, my friends, take a breath. You're not behind, you're not broken, and really, a few meals will not define your metabolic future. So let's walk through this together, shall we? So here's the first thing to understand, and this is firmly grounded in physiology. A few celebratory meals do not erase real progress. Metabolic health is not built meal by meal. It's built over weeks and months through repeated patterns, not through perfection. And this is where GLP-1 medications quietly do what they were designed to do. They stabilize appetite signaling, and they reduce exaggerated hunger responses, and they blunt the biological rebound they use to follow indulgence. And here's the reassuring part. Your metabolism does not panic just because it's December. It doesn't suddenly forget everything it's learned because there was pie in dinner or an extra roll on the plate, or two. Biology is far more resilient than that, especially when it's supported consistently, which is exactly what GLP-1s help provide. So if you hear that old inner voice saying, hey, well, I've blown it now, well, recognize the voice for what it is. Habitual thinking. It's not metabolic reality. Progress lives in patterns, and one season does not undo a system that's finally working for you and with you and not against you. Okay, so what helps most during the holidays is not rigid rules or willpower. It's having a few simple anchors. These are small, repeatable behaviors that keep your biology steady, even when the environment isn't. First, protein comes first. Repeat after me. Protein comes first. Not because carbs are bad, but because protein enhances satiety, supports lean muscle mass, and helps stabilize appetite signals. When protein leads the meal, everything else tends to fall in place with much less effort. Second, smaller portions, slower pace. GLP-1 medications slow gastric emptying, so your body needs time to register fullness. Eating more slowly gets biology to speak before the plate is empty. Third, hydration before and between meals. You know, mild dehydration often masquerades as hunger, so staying well hydrated supports digestion, circulation, and appetite regulation. And finally, this one matters more than most people realize. Let the GLP-1 do its job. You don't need to micromanage every bite. You don't need to outthink the system. These medications were designed to stabilize signaling in real-world conditions, including holidays, family dinners, and yes, dessert tables. So think anchors, not anxiety. A few steady habits can carry you through the season without stress or guilt or second guessing. Now let's talk about the apple cider vinegar hack. Yes, I said hack. And I'll be honest, I dismissed this at first. It sounded too old school, marginal. And then I went to the data. And here's where it gets serious. 1 or 2 teaspoons of diluted apple cider vinegar, taken shortly before a carb-heavy meal, like 5 or 10 minutes, has been shown to reduce post-meal glucose spikes and modestly slow gastric emptying. And that effect was demonstrated conclusively in controlled human studies, including work published by Diabetes Care by Johnson and colleagues, which I cited below. So mechanistically, this matters, especially for GLP-1 users. GLP-1 medications already slow gastric emptying and improve postprandial glucose control. What apple cider vinegar does, it appears to reinforce the same physiological pathway. It's not overriding the system, but kind of nudging it into the same direction, which is a good thing. This isn't magic. It's not mandatory. And it's certainly not a replacement for the medication itself. But as a gentle adjunct, used thoughtfully and diluted properly, it can provide another layer of metabolic steadiness during these higher carbohydrate holiday meals. And perhaps the bigger takeaway here is this. Sometimes ideas sound unscientific right up until the moment you actually read the science. And here are a few more gentle tools that truly work, and none of them require perfection. First, and this is one that my own personal doctor, Dr. K, sent in his newsletter to his patients this morning. So what is it? First, a short walk after meals, even 10 minutes, can significantly improve glucose handling. And this is not about exercise performance. It's about keeping muscle tissue pull glucose out of the bloodstream at the exact moment it matters most. So a relaxed stroll around the block, a walk with the family, a walk with the dog, or pacing the kitchen while dishes are being done, all of it counts. It does, believe me. Second, eating earlier when you can. So our metabolism follows circadian rhythms, and earlier meals tend to align better with insulin sensitivity and energy use. And this doesn't mean rigid schedule, just a gentle awareness. When dinner happens earlier, the body often handles it more smoothly. Third, and here's one that I struggle with. Sleep matters more than most people realize. Sleep strongly regulates appetite hormones, including hunger signals, satiety cues, and impulse control around food. A poor night of sleep can amplify hunger the next day, even when calorie needs have not changed. And finally, and this may be the most freeing idea of all, you don't wait for Monday or January. You do it at the next meal. And that single decision, repeated, is how metabolic health is built, protected, and sustained through real life, including during the holidays. And as we close, I want to leave you with a few steady reminders. GLP-1 medications are designed for real life, not perfect weeks, not flawless holidays, and not uninterrupted routines. A healthy metabolism is resilient. It bends, it adapts, and it recovers far more quickly than we were taught to believe. Joy and health are not opposites. They're not competing goals. They can and should exist together. So, my friends, stay the course. Enjoy the season. Trust the patterns you've built and give yourself permission to live fully in the moment. And as we celebrate this time of the year, my hope for you is deeper than food or physiology. I truly pray that the reason for the season brings you joy and peace. Remember this, understanding what's happening in your body is the first step towards changing it. And you're already doing that work. I am George, and this is GLP-1s for Seniors. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas and warm holiday wishes to you and to yours. Until next time.